Damas y caballeros, we're back to do another review for TeamJVS. This time we're going back to anime, and we're going back to someone who has made a a landmark presence in animation, Shinichiro Watanabe. And
Yes,
we're back
sir.
here with his new series, Lazarus, from Adult Swim. And we're going to talk about it. I'm Ronan Chain. I'm here with my hermano, Samuel Leggett. How we doing, man?
Dude, I am in awe of how insane this was. I mean, I think conceptually from the first time we saw the first trailers and clips of it, we were psyched because the visuals for it looked like, okay, we're going back to what we love, right? But I never could have anticipated falling in love with the characters, the story, and how this is going. This is a gem, you guys. But go ahead.
Yeah, we don't want to give too much away from the series just because I think the less you know, the better, and it will have an impact for you. Let's say that someone has gone into hiding, and now everybody wants to know where this person is at, and these group of individuals are tasked with finding this said person, and where do these people come from? What are they able to do? Can they get along? And what is the ultimate reason why they're behind this task is the thing that's been driving this series thus far, and why I care so much about these characters and the world and the events that are occurring. It is, some might say, it hits too close to home. Some might say that, like, wow, I can't believe that they're doing this in this day and age,
Mhm.
and yet I welcome it because when you team up Shinichiro Watanabe, and I hope I'm not butchering his name, and you team up Chaz Stahelski from
Yes.
the John Wick world, you're gonna get a funk that feels classical and yet fresh. Like, look
Mhm.
at that poster. That symbolizes the gold that is Cowboy Bebop and the gold that is John Wick, and you put that together and you get something like this
Mhm.
with a new take and a new story to tell. What about you, Sam? How did you feel about going into this?
So it was interesting because the only thing we had ever seen from the first like clips or trailers was like it took place in like in a prison, just like somebody was trying to escape from prison, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about it, and the way that even the character design, it kind of reminded me a little bit about Spike Spiegel, right?
Mm,
But what I love about this is that feeling of human immersion. If you go back to Cowboy Bebop, is even as fantastical as it is, and even as like outside of the scope, this is even more like connectable to what we know from modern day stuff. There's even references to stuff that you just will not anticipate that I don't know how they got in this, because a lot of times you have to kind of like slight the name of something. They just have it in here. And I think that with every single character and every single person that interacts in this, you rally behind them. And that was one of the reasons why Cowboy Bebop stood the test of time with only one season, is because you immerse yourself into their world, but you gravitate to who these people are. And it's a slow burn, a little bit about getting understanding of what's happening. But make no mistake, there is no slow burn when it comes to the action and the way that the story goes. Because
yeah.
immediately from the first episode, it goes.
Hmm.
And you get an understanding of scope, you get an understanding of capabilities of certain characters, and it is amazing to watch. It's eye catching because the animation is some of the best animation that you're going to see all year. I can promise you, because I see everything. But what I didn't anticipate as it goes on, I don't know much about the world. I don't even know what era this takes place. And I also don't know why this is happening. And it allows the story to breathe because we're slowly getting everything. And it's not like they're keeping it from us necessarily. It's just certain hurdles that you have to go through. And I think at the core of it is mankind and humanity. I think that there's a question of, because we've had all these things given to us, because we have all these technologies and certain grievances that we just get and we're inherent, do we really truly care about our lives? Do we really truly care about the world? Do we really truly care about each other? And every single episode that I've seen, we've only seen like 5 episodes of this, it answers that question in certain moments.
Yeah.
Greed, politics, and the lack of communication and the lack of caring have left humanity at a certain point. And I think that when you look at a lot of good animes like Cowboy Bebop, and you find like people coming together as a family, but for one specific focus, even when they have to make hardcore decisions, you get a little glimpse of what it means to truly fight for something outside of yourself. And I love that in a certain character. And I'll speak about Axel as one of my favorite characters in this so far. There's a lot of great characters, but yeah, I am in love with this character right now.
Yeah, you can tell that, yes, Bebop, John Wick and whatnot, but I like to point out to folks that I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if you're wrong, hardcore Blade Runner fans, Shinichiro Watanabe did the short Blackout
Yes, you did.
before leading up to 2049. And so you could almost sense that, like, oh, doing that experience also has an effect with him. I'm like, no, I want to say more stuff about how I'm feeling in this time in my life and whatnot. And I could sense that immediately within the first episode like that. And then you get to some of the middle episodes that we've seen, and it's just like, I know what you're saying, and yet you're giving me a good time to watch a piece of art. And folks, cinematography, lighting, music. I mean, we've been talking about it off when we would finish watching an episode. Like, I am right now hunting down the soundtrack, trying to see if there's anything out officially of the soundtrack, so I can just rehear it over and over and over again. It is something that I hope doesn't get lost in the midst of an April release. That's going to be chaotic for y'all to watch, but check it out because it'll be a fresh thing to watch in the midst of the pre-game of summer hits coming down the pipeline. And I think you hinted at it again. Like, I think characters like Axel, Chris, Elena, Leland, Douglas, like these characters, I am dying to know more about them, and yet we've gotten hints of their past. And hopefully you're intrigued about discovering more about them as I am and as we are.
Yeah, and I gotta piggyback off of what he said about the soundtrack. Oh my gosh. If you know Cowboy Bebop, if you watch it in its entirety, you know there's this jazz influence with it, right? This anime, there's that, absolutely. But there's a little bit of steampunk there. There's a little bit of techno synth there. If you used to growing up on Batman Beyond, like some of those, I don't want to spoil it, but there's an art form to how they handle the music and the action progressively throughout this. And it sets the tone with every single episode. And no, it's not that the music is different every single time, but there's a certain rhythm to it that does switch up. As amazing as this show looks, like there are certain episodes you want to watch on the big screen, whether it is the sound design or whether it is just insanity of what's actually happening. It's like looking at a living picture. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna let you guys see this looping GIF real quick, but I kid you not, it is masterful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I can't really say that much. And normally I dissect everything, but when your animation is perfect, voice acting is perfect, story is perfect, line delivery. I think that's one thing I can say, that there are certain line deliveries in this that are some of the best in any animation I've heard this year. And we barely even scratched the surface of it. So that's all I can really say more.
Yeah. To give my final thoughts is that I want to keep watching the show and covering it. I'm gonna do my damn, again, it's gonna be a busy month. I'm gonna do my damn best to cover the show on a weekly basis. And it is worth giving it a try. It is worth signing up to Adult Swim for this, to give this fresh take. And I would give it, as of now, I would give it for the first few episodes we've seen, I would give it a solid like A minus. Like to me, there's at least 3 strong episodes. There's 2 episodes that are really good, and yet for 5 episodes consistently, the world is growing, the stakes are honing in, and the dynamics and the chemistry between the characters are just growing. And I love that with something new that I don't know too much about it. and I can't stop thinking about. What about you, Sam?
Oh yeah, man, this is hardcore A, bro. First off, you got Chad and my man, like the creator of Cowboy Bebop. Like, I mean, what better pairing could you have here? I will say that I'm curious to see how this is going to kind of progress. With Cowboy Bebop, we use Shamrock Shampoo, like it's one and done. You know, it's not like multiple different seasons, but they were good enough to be on their own stretch that you didn't need any more than that. Even though I'm selfish enough to want more. But this is absolutely an A. I couldn't give it anything less than an A because from what I've seen, it's gotten better and better and better. And even certain episodes that are different have added layers to the characters. So if you can, go and check it out on Adult Swim. I know it comes out late at night, but I think it's going to be a simultaneous release at the same time everywhere. I don't know if it's going to be on HBO Max after they usually do that where it goes to Adult Swim and then the next day it goes to HBO Max. Definitely go and research to see if you can get the time frames for it. But please, whatever you do, don't miss it. This is great. This is amazing animation at its finest, and you're witnessing history. You're witnessing history. That's all I'm gonna say. But anywho,
folks, that'll be our review for Lazarus. Sam, thanks so much for taking about this. This is one thing that like I had the first clip. I'm like, Sam, we should keep an eye out for this. We should keep an eye out for this. And I'm glad that we stuck with it.
Yeah,
folks, coverage is gonna be coming down. Please subscribe to the channel TeamJVS. There is a lot we're cooking up as we're talking about this, as we're recording. There's already plans and motions of delivering a lot of coverage for some of the best and biggest anticipated stuff of the year for you. So subscribe to TeamJVS, subscribe to my channel at Ronan Unchained, and you won't want to miss what we got cooking.
You really will not. Got a little bit of a devil out there. Got another little bit of a devil out there. And a lot more that you guys do not know what is coming. But we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, everybody.
Falling off the top